Some footballers enjoy the big occasion. Some footballers survive it. Rivaldo lived for it. When the pressure grew, when the stakes became greater, when millions were watching, Rivaldo became even better. Because throughout his career, one thing became impossible to ignore. When football needed something extraordinary, Rivaldo delivered it. Born in Recife, Brazil, in 1972, Rivaldo's journey was never meant to be easy. He grew up in poverty, often undernourished as a child. Many doubted whether his slight frame could ever survive professional football. But greatness has never been measured by size, only by courage. And from the very beginning, Rivaldo played with fearless belief, the kind of belief that cannot be taught. Where others saw impossible, Rivaldo saw opportunity. After making his name in Brazil, Europe came calling. Deportivo La Coruña became his first step. Then came Barcelona, one of football's biggest clubs, one of football's biggest pressures. And Rivaldo embraced every second of it. Barcelona didn't just sign a great player. They signed their leader, their match winner, their inspiration. When Barcelona struggled, they looked to Rivaldo. When they needed creativity, they looked to Rivaldo. When they needed a goal, they looked to Rivaldo. Again, and again, and again. What made Rivaldo different wasn't simply his talent. Football has always had talented players. It was his belief. Most footballers see an impossible opportunity and choose the safe option. Rivaldo never did. He believed impossible goals were there to be scored. Impossible passes were there to be played. Impossible moments were there to be created. And then there was his left foot, perhaps the greatest weapon of his generation. Defenders knew exactly what he wanted to do. They knew he wanted to shift the ball onto his left. They knew what was coming. The problem was, they still couldn't stop him. Long-range screamers, impossible volleys, free kicks, curling finishes, thunderous strikes, delicate chips. His left foot wasn't just a weapon. It was an event. In 1999, football recognized his brilliance. Rivaldo won the Ballon d'Or, the highest individual honor in world football. For one season, he wasn't simply one of the world's best players. He was the world's best player. Yet the greatest night of his club career was still to come. Camp Nou. Barcelona against Valencia. The final league match of the season. Lose. And Barcelona miss out on the Champions League. Everything rested on one night. The pressure was unbearable. But pressure had never frightened Rivaldo. It inspired him. He scored once. Barcelona still needed more. He scored again. The tension only grew. Then came the moment football will never forget. The ball dropped from the night sky. His back was to goal. 90 minutes were almost complete. Most players would have brought it down. Most players would have looked for a teammate. Rivaldo didn't. He launched himself into the air. A perfect bicycle kick. The ball flew into the top corner. The new camp erupted. Hat trick. Victory. Champions League qualification secured. One of the greatest individual performances football has ever witnessed. Because when football needed something extraordinary, Rivaldo delivered it. Then came the biggest stage of all. The 2002 FIFA World Cup. Brazil's golden generation. Ronaldo, Ronaldinho, Cafu, Roberto Carlos. And quietly, Rivaldo. History often remembers Ronaldo's 8 goals. It remembers Ronaldinho's magic against England. But Brazil do not lift that World Cup without Rivaldo. He scored 5 goals, created countless chances, linked every attack, controlled the tempo, made the right decision at the right time. When Brazil needed calm, Rivaldo gave them calm. When Brazil needed quality, Rivaldo gave them quality. When Brazil needed brilliance, Rivaldo delivered it. Throughout the tournament, he never looked rushed, never looked nervous, never looked overwhelmed. The bigger the occasion became, the calmer he looked. That confidence spread through the entire team. Because when Rivaldo had the ball, Brazil believed. Opponents believed too. Not because they expected him to do the ordinary, because they feared he might produce something extraordinary. One touch, one strike, one moment. That was all he needed. Football has produced faster players. Football has produced stronger players. Football has produced bigger personalities. But football has rarely produced a player who thrived under pressure quite like Rivaldo. Some players become legends through consistency. Some become legends through longevity. Rivaldo became a legend through moments. Moments that made supporters leap from their seats. Moments that made commentators lose their voices. Moments that children tried to recreate in parks and playgrounds all over the world. That is football's greatest gift. Creating memories that never disappear. That is why Rivaldo will always remain a true footballing icon. Not because he won the Ballon d'Or. Not because he became a world champion. Not because he scored hundreds of goals. But because when the game demanded something extraordinary, Rivaldo delivered it. Again. And again. And again. Some players wait for the perfect moment. Rivaldo created it. And that is why his greatest goals will never simply be remembered as goals. They will be remembered as moments that reminded us why we fell in love with football. What is your favorite Rivaldo moment?